You know? You feel me? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm already recording. Oops, didn't even notice that. Look at that. Look at that. Well, how you doing? You already know who it is. I got something in my eye. That's horrible. You already know who it is. You already know what it is. But just in case you don't, let me remind you. It's your guy, your man, your best friend, ATN. And I'm here as always with the lovely Lady L.
Hi.
So, of course, it's the cat has been brought out of the bag a long time ago. Yes, Lady L and I are married.
We already said that.
I know, but you know, sometimes you have to remind people so that they can understand where this a lot of these concepts are coming from. So,
Well, but when we were first recording,
we were not. No. I actually was courting her without her knowing, per se. Is that were you making a face there?
I was.
Okay. And so anyway, we were having a discussion. You know, Lady L hit me with that Cam Newton doctor, I believe her name is Cheyenne Bryant, interview. And of course, you know, she also sat down with Nick Cannon. And one of the things that seems to be a hot topic issue in those interviews are the fact that Nick Cannon, Cam Newton, these are considered to be like high valued men. And she pretty much broke them down to the point of like, regardless of whether you believe you're a high value man, you're out here creating kids that pretty much you're bringing into a broken home in a sense. Like,
Well, and
because
I think
you're
I
not
love
really.
how she said it. I mean, yeah, because although they may be considered high value, but they're operating in a low frequency way.
I think she said the word she said was.
It was low frequency.
It wasn't low frequency. I want to say it was low energy or something like that. It was low something. But if you're saying low frequency, I'll go with that too. Because either way, it's not really the makings of a high. To me, what I consider to be a high value man. It's not the makings of a high value man to have multiple kids. I should say this while. I don't think it's the makings of a high value man to have multiple kids with multiple women, and you don't plan on being with any of them.
Well, and I also think when we think about high value men, we also think about how most of those men believe in building legacy. And I guess what legacy are you creating with broken homes? And she said it perfectly, because although they have these multiple children, and you know, for some people that say, well, he can still have a legacy because those are still his seed and all that. However, they're not being reared in the same way because they're not all growing up in the same household. So that's where it can be a little tricky. Even for me, like I mean,
for me right now, I'm wishing that I could pull it. You're driving, and normally you read the definitions for us, but I would love to know what the definition of legacy actually is, because I feel like a lot of people might not really understand what legacy is.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like people feel like, oh, legacy is just what you did, and it's not necessarily what you did, it's what you leave behind, the impact on the world that you're leaving behind. So when I start thinking about like men, high value, legacy, there's not too many men really with that are high value that are leaving behind a great legacy. Like, because again, they feel because I'm high value, I can have these multiple women, I can have these multiple kids, and it's okay. Like, but how's the nurturing of these kids? You know,
What values are they being taught?
Yeah, are they being taught the values to be like, be upstanding and, you know, respect your wife, you know, because in my mind, a lot of these guys don't really respect their wives. You know, it's always kind of like me, and they tend to think because I provide a roof,
in a particular lifestyle.
Yeah, in a particular lifestyle, as Miss L said, a particular lifestyle, that your emotions necessarily don't matter. You know, like, because I'm providing you with everything else, so you should be happy. Like, no, and no. But for the most part, what I really wanted to touch on, the base of everything for me as a black man, okay, as a black man, I need for us to just be accountable and stop trying to point fingers back. Yes, I understand it takes two to tango. I get that. I understand that. But I'm gonna say this, and then I'll elaborate on it, because that's what we do. But you can't have a flower without planting a seed. Do not come to me and tell me about these women prostituting their wombs for a lifestyle. Okay? Like, because it wouldn't exist. These women would not be able to prostitute their womb without a demand for it. I mean, because it's simple business, supply and demand. They're supplying what's being demanded. These men are saying to them, I don't want a relationship. I don't want to marry you. Some of them don't even really want kids, but they want to slide in them raw. Make that make sense? You can't have a flower without the seed. Men, it's time to start being accountable. It just is.
I mean, and if we're talking about accountability, and men always want to lead with, I'm the man, I want a woman who's going to be submissive and different things like that. But I also want to solicit, or maybe offer a alternative thought process, that if men are supposed to be leading, and you want a woman to be submissive, what are you leading in the world to create what we have now? Because there's always cause and effect. Because, so the cause, we don't have men in households nowadays. It has resulted in, or the effect of, women not valuing who they are, because their first love and first experience of how a man is supposed to be and treat them is through their father. And if we don't have the father figure in the home, that diminishes their role in their life, or the image of what a man is supposed to be, right?
Or the fact that they need a man at all.
Right. And so hence you have the era of the independent woman. I don't need a man, because that is what they have grown up to see, not understanding that there is always yin and yang, and we need each other. A woman needs a man just like a man needs a woman, because we offer something different and we bring something different to the table. So in retrospect, what has men been leading in the way that they have interacted in the world, and in the African American community in particular, for us to have the result that we have now in the world? And so that's why it's so important that men come together and that they support a vision of a black unit and a family to uplift the community. But because we haven't had that, it has been a ripple effect that has caused negative, a lack of home ownership, a lack of equitability in the homes and in education. So this has been a ripple effect that has caused not only relationship issues, but also financial issues as well. That's why our prison systems are ran high with black men and women in our prison system, because we have lacked that structure that has been needed in the black home for a long time. Yes, the system was set up against us. Yes, we are still trying to overcome. Yes, there are things that have been put in obstacle blocks that have been put in our way that has made us be the way that we are. However,
Well, before you finish, yes. If we come together, they're probably going to try to figure out a way to tear us down again. But that is the issue in itself. Unity.
yeah,
I'm not here to tear down any other man. I'm not here to tear down any woman. But what I am saying is accountability. It's time to take accountability for because my mouth is falling asleep. It's time to take accountability for our actions as men.
Mm-hmm.
As men, I should have put the camera on me. I don't know. We might end up re-recording this. I don't know, but we might keep this. It is what it is. It's the convo, and we're having one as we're out.
Yeah, and I think Dr. Umar put it so well that it's not for us to point fingers, because there's fingers that can be pointed in both directions. I feel that women have lessened their value in order to try to appease the black man. Because again, and even in some of the other convos that I have talked about, I remember back in the day when I was dating, there was still a little small remnants of courting, but it wasn't an expectation that a man was going to be able to have you go straight into their bed or straight into our bed, because a woman had standards. It was the understanding that it was going to take at least 3 months or longer before you were going to be able to sleep with them, and that was a standard that was set, and men understood that. Women have walked away from that standard because of the masculine energy that they uphold, and then they don't value their body or their womb themselves. However, men have also prostituted that and have also gaslit and manipulated women to believing that you are with them and you are courting them in the way that they are expecting to become your wife or a long-term partner, only for you to do something to tear that away. Hence, bringing forth a lot of children in an unmarried household. So there's accountability that's on both parties. It's for the women, maybe for being gullible or not being able to set a standard, and also for men extorting that. That crave that women have to be a mother and a wife, and men using that against them in an unhealthy way, because men are not taught to be men. They're taught to behave in a boyish way of knock down as many women as you can, you ain't a man unless you have a whole bunch of women, and all those different concepts. And men think like that until they have a daughter that they're raising in their household, and you think like, man, this is not what I want for my daughter, this is not what I want for my sister
At all.
And so at the end of the day, again,
I don't want it for my cousins.
Yeah, your cousins,
my
your
nieces,
auntie, your mom,
none of it.
So I mean, at the end of the day, what values are you holding even in the dating world to where you treat women with a certain level of respect, and vice versa? And women should do the same. Women should not try to use men for money or for financial gain or advances, but it's supposed to be a mutual thing of respect at the end of the day.
Facts. But again, what we run into is supply and demand. As long as there's a demand for the supply, somebody's gonna supply it. So again, for me, I'm just speaking. I want women to hear this, but I'm really speaking to my brothers out there. I need for us to start holding ourselves more accountable, okay?
And other men accountable.
Yes, other men. But I'm just saying, like, we have to start with ourselves. We can't. Oh, well, I get it. Trauma does that. When you feel hit, you're gonna react with your defense mechanism and try to hit back. And I use that example to further push my point out, get what I'm getting at. I saw, like, it was a clip, like Cam Newton was upset that she's out here advising single women and she's single herself. But when I sat there and listened to the beginning of his interview, what didn't make sense to me is your mom and dad have been married many of years, but you're unmarried with like 3 mothers. of your kids. So how can you be upset with her advising women on how to like carry themselves positively and how they should be moving, and you not even holding up your end? Like, so that's why I'm saying, like, let's stop with this and let's start with this. You know, again,
no judgment. I mean, you can do whatever you feel
exactly.
is best.
Exactly. I was just about to say that. You stole the word.
And these are just our opinions and thoughts, not that of anybody else or, you know, anything. But these are just our thoughts. It starts with us first, you know. I just think that we always say that, you know what's best for your relationship and all of that. And I did hear someone say that, you never know what that man went through with the woman, and that's absolutely true.
Facts.
But you also, both parties should make sure that they're protecting themselves in a way that they're not procreating and bringing children into the world into chaos.
Right. Yeah. I think that's what I wanted to hit on too. Like the fact of, I understand that there are some women out there, like we'll use the Drake situation for an example. Yes, he used protection. That woman went in the trash can, tried to use a condom. I totally get that. Now that right there, that's a whole different story. What we're discussing is men knowingly going into the act, knowing that they're not doing what they need to do in order to protect themselves, and then saying, oh, but it's okay that I got all these kids running around by all these different women, and then trying to pin it on the woman going, but she just wanted to check.
Yeah, but and then to further that, then both men and women who do this, who will have multiple kids or, and multiple baby mothers or baby fathers, will then turn around and say they don't want to date anybody that has kids.
Yeah,
and to almost make it seem like that
like you're good enough to do it, but I can't be with you. I'm good enough to do it, but I can't be with you if you do it.
Right. So I don't know. I'm kind of confused by that. And I mean, I know everybody has their reasons. Some people who have multiple kids and and all of that, they're like, especially if the kids are older, it's just that I just don't want to start over, or whatever, or they want to start over new because they wanted to get it right because they didn't get a chance to raise their other kids the way they wanted to because of baby mama drama or whatever the case may be. However, I just think we should move and work smarter, not harder, at the end of the day. So that's my 2 cents.
So you've heard Lady L, you've heard your boy. To like my mother, I would be her boy. To Lady L, I would be her man, and to you guys, I would be y'all friend. But at the end of the day, you heard it from ATN. Men, we need to start holding ourselves accountable first and foremost, and that's the convo. So like always, like, share, subscribe. Let us know what you think in the comments. If there's any other things you would like us to talk about or hit on, message us. We talk back. Mm-hmm. Tell them one more time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You see that gorgeous lady? She said, mm-hmm. So, what? Why are you shaking your head now?
Keep going.
Gorgeous says she feels shy. Nah, but as always, it's a pleasure doing this for you guys. We appreciate the support. Like I said, like, share, subscribe. It doesn't hurt to share. It doesn't hurt to comment. Talk to us. Like I said, we talk back. And again, it's ATN, Lady L, and that was the convo.